Here in the United States, we know how contentious the presidential election in 2024 went, November of 2024 went. And some things have come to light around that, around real election interference and around real interference of enforcing federal law. So what am I talking about? So it's come to our attention that 60 days before the November 2024 presidential election, George Soros put in a bid to purchase 200 media stations across the United States. And the Biden administration, which have you mind, you may be wondering how long it takes for regular deals to go through. A lot of times it takes months, takes years for those to actually be litigated. This deal, however, to purchase and have complete control over 200 radio stations across the United States 60 days before a contentious presidential election, and the Biden administration approves it. And it's curious that they did in that given amount of time. Again, many other cases were on the docket, and they weren't heard, and many of them probably haven't been heard yet. And we're in 2025. And you may be asking, well, how's that election interference? Well, you take an extreme point of view, whatever side of the aisle that is, left, right, and you take somebody who has the beliefs of an extreme side of the aisle that George Soros does have, with the ultra left progressive part of the Democrat Party. And so this deal went through, and so he was able to, George Soros, through these additional radio stations, he was able to put out some propaganda. And you may be saying, oh, that's a conspiracy. What proof do you have? Okay, well, fast forward, President Joe Biden at the time lost. We now have President Donald Trump. And one of the areas that President Donald J. Trump is focusing on is enforcing immigration laws, especially for those individuals that are here illegally, not legally, illegal. So they shouldn't be here. They haven't gone through that process. They haven't signed up the way my grandparents and maybe your grandparents did. And so there are federal laws on the books that they can be removed from our country, where the Biden administration, I'm just stating facts, and we don't have to get all bent out of shape about it. Millions of illegal immigrants flowed across the border, were invited by, at that time, President Joe Biden. And so borders are Tom Homan, part of what he's doing with the support of President Trump and federal law, is he's just trying to enforce the law that's on the books. This is nothing new. The last administration, they just didn't want to enforce it because it didn't line up with their agenda. And so you might be asking, where are you going to get to? What's the main idea here? Well, these Soros-backed, now over 200 radio stations, KCBS being one, 60 Minutes, So not only the radio, but also they have other media arms as well. And there have been many times where interviews are cut short, or they're vastly edited. And these happen all the time, but they were happening very, very frequently leading up to the 2024 presidential election. So fast forward to where we're at today. So why am I putting this video out? Why is our organization putting it out? So we support legal immigration. We support the upheld laws that are on the books, whether you're a legal immigrant or not, or you're legal, whether you're a U.S. citizen. That's how we view it. So we're across the board on this. We're not just talking about illegal immigrants that, oh well, you're being hard on them. We're not. We're across the board. So somebody breaks the law, we believe that justice should be served. End of story. So again, we're in 2025, new administration. We're enforcing now the federal law of the illegal immigration, and those that have committed serious crimes. And so there's a plan that Borders Czar Tom Homan is going by, and that's how things are going. So how Soros come into it? How do these 200 stations? You may say, well, the election's over, so using those as propaganda doesn't make sense right now. Well, it actually does, because at least a couple of those radio stations that were purchased by Soros in 2024, in the 60 days leading up to the election, they're basically live streaming where ICE agents are, ICE undercover agents are. So they being the radio station, they can alert the illegal immigrants that have broken the law and have broken the law by being in our country illegally. And so that jeopardizes a lot of people's lives, not just the ICE agents. And so ICE, I'm not sure the exact acronym, what ICE stands for, but it's basically immigration control. And so they're very similar to what I would consider, like a SWAT team. So they're going in at the all odd hours of the day to try to surprise the individuals that they're searching for, because they don't want violence towards them, and they don't want to mistakenly have a violent encounter. And so these radio stations, these Soros-owned radio stations, that's what they're doing. They're given real time, in instances, San Francisco to be specific. And this is backed up by real credible sourcing. So look it up. And so we as an organization, we have kind of a problem with that, because again, we're jeopardizing a lot of people's lives. The individuals that we're looking to apprehend, as well as the all the agents, law enforcement, the individuals that have the intelligence. So that's how George Soros owning now 200 radio stations is not only impacting the election last year, but they're putting a lot of people's lives in danger. And we're sorry that is happening.